Welcome back to another episode of Penny's Hot Rod and Custom. Just old Derek again. Today we are going to work on a 1.5 horsepower Z headless. You can see there's no cylinder head. This one from the serial number I checked up. I don't know if you guys can read that. This one's 1918. These engines were made from, well, the Zeds were made from 1911 to the late 40s. I don't know when they stopped the headless, but the Zeds were they were around for a long time. But this guy is actually over 100 and some years old and surviving. I've done a general, just kind of looked over things, and I have not found any cracks, which is a very good thing, because usually you leave water in here and it cracks the bottom out. But I was looking underneath here and I don't see any cracks. Everything looks great. So, so in this video, I maybe clean it up a little bit to get it running. I don't want to, I'll make sure it runs good. The next guy, he can do whatever he wants. I plan to sell this. I can't keep everything. And if I can sell this, I can put some more money back into my other engines that I need to buy parts. So that's what the plan is. Everybody has different opinion. To me, it's a kind of a common engine to me. I like to have something a little more, a higher end engine. Something a little different. There's nothing wrong with these. These were very good engines. But, like I say, I think I played with it a little bit. I think I had an afternoon to play with it when I got it, just before winter came. That was last year. And I just made up a gasket really quick for the igniter and the intake. And other than that, that's all I've done. You know how winter comes, it's cold, everything freezes, and it's in the snow, and it's not going to happen. So I finally dug it out, because originally I was working on the Camaro. I finally sanded all that bad paint off. Oh, that pissed me off, that bad paint. It was peeling, and so I took all that paint off. I got real good paint for it now, so it's just having a hard time walking around right now. So I figured I'll work on an engine. I don't have to hobble around that much, so I figured we'll make another engine run on the video. And the good news on this one, like I say, it's for sale. So if you want to buy it, it can be yours. And it's not for $100. Be a little more than that. So, or unless you have something that you want to trade for it, I'm always open. I don't mind seized up engines or something that are complete or good parts. But first, before we get into that, you can kind of sell it, get it running and get it kind of dialed in, and we'll go from there. So I think first what we'll do is, I can't remember, we'll pop off the igniter and the intake cage, and just to make sure there's no junk in there, clean it up a little bit, and then we'll clean the exhaust valve. So I'll get your camera on the stand here, and we'll start taking it apart and see if we can make some noise at the end of the video. Alright, I got my socket. Someone had this bolt out many times. That head is sure rounded. Either that or they tighten it up with a monkey wrench. I'll show you. You can find out a bolt. You can see how bad that head is worn. I'll see if I can find a better bolt for that later. I match a correct one. I'll try to see if the gasket. If not, it's not the end of the world. Oh, I saved it. And the valve actually, if I remember, I think the sheets were actually pretty good shape on this, but we'll just give it a good clean up. And that way there's a little bit of moisture in there. We'll clean that out. Alright, I'll go get some cleaning supplies and I'll get this cleaned up, and then we'll pull off. Well, actually, no, since we're right here, we may as well just pull off the igniter. Get that done with. I don't care about that wire. Hope we can save the gasket. If not, I'll make another one again. Not a big deal. Oh, there's a washer. We'll put that back on. A copper washer. There we go. There. Kind of fought me a bit, but as you can see, that igniter doesn't look too bad a shape. We'll check to make sure it's got a good blue spark. Everything's gonna see. I think this looks like could be a homemade one. It's almost like an end of a valve. I could be wrong, but it seems fairly good. There's not a heck of a lot of movement in it, so that's a good sign. Alright, I guess I'll go get some stuff and I'm going to start cleaning this out, and then I'll bring you guys back. And also another thing I got to do is make sure, oh, you can hear the ball in there, your check ball, because if this is stuck, it will not suck up fuel. So we'll just take that, clean that, make sure that's good. So, but I'm just going to give some clean up and then I'll bring you guys back. Alright, I gave it a real fast lapping job. You can see it's good. And then I just used my marker to put onto the valve here. And then you can see it's all cleaned up in the face there. Put that back in here. I just give it a little turn back and forth. I can. Not much of a bench up there. And you can see it making a little wear mark through my marker, so that's perfect. We're 100% seat. I'm happy with that. So as far as I'm concerned, that intake valve is done. I might put an actual washer and a better cotter pin, but that's the way it was when I got it. Yeah. Just for right now. I'll change things a little bit after, but that's done. And I've already cleaned up this face and this face. And I guess we will pull up the intake. Or, sorry, exhaust valve. And the exhaust valve, I think you guys can see it, is fairly simple. So I'm going to just put a piece of nail in here. Okay. This wasn't me. I might have to get a pair of pliers. Oh, maybe not. There's the nail. I'm trying to... The exhaust valve doesn't want to move. Okay. That's your exhaust spring. Oh, there's the exhaust valve. There's a little bit of sludge and moisture. We'll clean that up, so that way there's nothing holding that. Oh yeah, it's all gummy oil. And I'll clean that up, and then I'll give it a quick lapping job, and that part will be done. Alright. Alright, I cleaned the exhaust valve. It doesn't look too bad. It's gonna live. It's kissing on this seat, so it should be fine. Like I say, if there's a problem, then I'll go and regrind new sheets, but I think it should be fine. So, now for the push rod, where the exhaust pushes against this. And then there's your your roller arm. Or I should call your rocker, your cam lobe. That's better. That's your cam. This is more like a rock. Your roller lifter with this roller right here. And that's what rides back and forth and pushes your exhaust valve. And the intake exhaust valve all goes by the suction of the compression of your engine. There's no mechanical lever on the intake, just on the exhaust valve. So, what I'm going to do, I think that's the far I'm going to go on this. I cleaned just a little bit up. I just oiled the joints, made sure it was good. The roller, it's free. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back together, and then we'll go through the igniter to make sure it has a good spark. So right now I'm just going to put the intake back on, the exhaust valve, and then I'll bring you guys back for the igniter. And I am going to put the old nail back in. Yeah, character. That's how a farmer kept their machine working. What they had, that's how this one's going back. It gives it character to it. If someone wants to change it, they can go ahead. I'm not going to, so. Alright, we'll put a couple things back together and we'll continue on with this guy. Okay, I brought the igniter over here. I didn't feel like dragging everything over, so I just dragged the igniter over. And, oh, she's got a nice hot spark. There. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to mess around with the igniter. There's nothing wrong with that one. So, one less thing I have to worry about. And now I guess we'll go back over to the engine. And, I guess we can put the igniter back on. The igniter is actually done. Well, done for right now, so you can't complain. There's nothing moving. There's nothing. So, it doesn't appear to be broken or anything. So, alright. Alright, I'm going to pull the piston out. That way I can inspect what the cylinder is like and what the rings are. So, that's the next thing I'm going to do. And I noticed one thing, one actually big thing, there was no cotter pins. And that's kind of a safety feature, because start to get loose and start hammering and you can do some serious damage right away. So when we put this back together, we will be putting cotter pins in. Oh, that is tight. And you want to make sure you put all the bolts and everything back the same way, and the shim, whatever. And make sure, if there's not a mark up here, make sure you put the right end up too, because you don't want to start mixing up things. Especially in this case, the Babbitt's already seated itself to everything. Dimple. Okay, I got 2 dimples, so that's good. No, that won't work. So I'll pull off this cap. And I know I got my dimple. Oh, that looks not too bad in there. Oh, that's pretty good bearing. There's still a lot of, either someone worked on this before or this engine haven't had a heck of a lot of life on it, but I'm going to say someone's been into it and probably did a little bit of repairs here and there, because that Babbitt is way too good a shape. Alright, who knows? There's one shim. That's one for the top. That's it. Okay. What I'll do, I know that's right. That's for the top. And one shim, or two shims for the bottom. So we'll put that back. I don't really want to mess around. If everything turned over good, then I'm not going to mess with it. If it binds, then okay, I'll play with it. But I know this. I'll put this right there. I'll give that a bit of a clean. And we'll roll the flywheel back. Well, that's been nice. I'm not going to play with that at all. Oh boy. Cheap knife. What we're going to do. Cheap. That's my dimple. That could be a little bit of surface rust in there. That's why I like to kick it apart, just in case there's some gunk in there. Of course, I gotta, yeah. I'll move you out of the way. I'm gonna have to fight pulling this thing out somehow. Boy, I managed to pull it out. It was tough. It was tight. So it's out. So I'll be. Oh, like I said, someone's been into this, because this, they put double rings in it, probably because that's all they had at the time. Nothing wrong with that. I usually like double ring on a worn cylinder. It will create way more compression. If you, oh, actually this seems really good. We'll give this a good cleaning up before I put it back in. I want to inspect the bore, but everything's looking good. I'm happy about that. And like I say, those are brand new Babbitt shells. So someone's done a little bit of work, so it's a plus on my end. I never knew that. So I'll clean this up, and I can feel the wrist pin has a little bit of wear, but heck, this thing's almost 110 years old, so over 110. So what do you expect? So, all right. I'm just going to go clean that up, and then I'll clean the bore out, and then we'll shove the piston back in, and also I'll clean a little bit of grease up and see what we can go from there. All right. I have cleaned in there, inspected. It's actually very nice. I put some oil on here. Just ladle this down. And another thing, I'm not too sure if this is like an international Tom Thumb. You never want to push these pistons in far as you can go, because then this ring can get caught on the other side of the cylinder, and you'll never get it out. You literally got to break your piston out to get it out. So I'm not too sure about on the Fairbanks, but I know on the international little Tom Thumb, you have to be careful about that. So I'm just staggering all my joints, which I'm quite happy is like this, that way, like that. I oiled my wrist pin up, so just carefully, you should be able to work it in, just carefully. You shouldn't have to put too much force into it. You might have to just up here and tap it a bit, but just be careful. I think believe I put that in. Almost, just a little bit more. Don't want to break anything, so. Just in case, very lightly. Don't, oh, there goes my walking stick. Yeah, just lightly. Oh yeah. That one I like nothing. It's just because those rings are actually, those are fairly big rings. They seem pretty good shape to me, so. And, I guess I could have shown. I'm not going to bother taking off the caps. Make sure you guys are still pointing here. Taking off the cap of the flywheel because I can't do it. These roll nicely. I'm not even screw around. And I'm moving it back and forth, that's good. There's a little bit of side to side play, but that's no big deal. If it was me, if I was going to keep this engine myself, I'd probably take it right down, take the flywheels off and everything, clean everything, and then put it back together. But like I said, I'm not keeping this one, so I can't keep them all. So I just want to let you guys know that. Oh, there we go. Easy. Easy peasy. And then there was just a little bit of moisture in the cylinder, but it was nothing to be concerned about. Put that back in. Just like that. Then I know the top, I'll just give that a clean. Usually I would just clean this all in solvent and then put it back together. That way I just get off the oil, but I got other things I want to do too. So for this one I can start in by itself. So what I'll do, oh, that ain't enough yet. Now I am. Line that back up. I had my top. Oh, there's my top. Put that in. And the shim is actually very easy because it just goes on top just like that. And then tighten that one up. And then I will do the same thing to the bottom. Just reversing it what I did before. Yeah. The only thing is I'll see I might have to hopefully my holes will line up so I can put my cotter pins in if I want to run cotter pins on the back. I don't like that without cotter pins. That kind of can be dangerous. Okay, we got a little bit of oil right now. Let's see if that made a difference. Oh, night and day. Okay, that's big difference now. You can see. Before I couldn't do that, just that little bit of moisture in there. So, okay, I'm just going to tighten this up and then we will put the igniter on. Maybe shoot some grease in here and see if we can fire this guy up. Alright, when I was off camera, I took this off. I forgot to put grease in there, so I put some grease in there. And I put some cotter pin. That way nothing can bad happen. And holy mackerel, this guy's got compression. It's just, you can see that fire. Now that's a good engine. I hate engines that have no compression. They're so hard to start. And so everything seems pretty good so far. So I think the next thing we'll just do is hook up the wiring. That's our positive. We'll find a negative. Oh yeah, right now I'm not going to put the gas tank in it, but I'll just put a jar in there full of gas. And the check ball I know is loose. We checked that. And see if we can fire this guy up. Like I said, I have not seen this engine fire. So, oh, and before you get too crazy, make sure the timing's set on this. So, Should be a good little engine. I think see if I can find a fender for it or what. Might have one of them, I'm not sure. And another reason why I'm not really keeping it, Kevin has one too. A little horse and a half dead, Headless, but he has it with a factory cart. So how many do we need? That's what comes down to it. So on duplicate stuff, we're starting to liquidate some stuff. So, but I guess the next thing we're going to do is fire this guy up. Well, I'm just going to go over it, make sure everything's got some oil, a little dab of oil, some grease, and I put more grease in the connecting rod. I'll go find a lubricator, put up here, and make sure we grease all these guys down, because that's what rides on your, that's what your governor weight is right there, right there. That's what holds this little detent back here, stops it, holds the exhaust so that way it can't fire, and just rolls and rolls over. Alright, I'll go find a jar and grab the other battery. Oh, one thing I did not check. I have a 6-volt battery somewhere. With the needle like. Sometimes these can be rusted right out shut. And I never did. Oh. Oh, wow. This engine's getting to be too good to be true. That's a nice shape. Okay. Don't have to worry about that. Like I say, this should be a good engine for someone if you're starting, or, you know, new to the hobby or something, or just want something to tinker around, or like I say, you take this thing apart and clean it all up nicely. You got lots of patina, but I got lots of things I got to do, so I'm not going to mess around with it. So, hey, I'll go find a jar and a battery and see if we can fire this guy up. Okay, I've hooked up just a little temporary thing for this check fire reigniter. I go through my coil and into my battery and then ground out the engine to the battery. So it's got a little switch knife. I'll hit that on to on over there. Then that'll give me power for here. I oiled all my spots where it needs lubrication. Even in here too, all that. So I'm hoping to make some noise. Like I said, I've not heard this one run. So this will be the first time. I made a cheesy little gas tank up. I do have a gas tank for this. I just don't feel like hooking it up right now. So I clamped it down. And might take me a couple of times to wind it over. I will not use a hand crank. I might do it now. I don't know. Years ago I wouldn't. I almost broke my arm using a hand crank. And ever since after that I've never bothered using one again. I just usually fight with turning it over and getting it started. So, but I guess we'll get the camera set up and see if this thing comes to life. I even hooked up an oiler on it too, instead of just sitting with the oiling can squirting oil in there. So, alright, I got this set up, and like I say, hopefully it runs. Okay, shoot you guys. I've got everything hooked up. Huh. I made a little bit of noise. Hope you did more. 3/4 of a turn. Okay, that was 3/4. Let's go almost just a 1 turn. Like I said, I don't know what the settings on this thing. Never played with this thing. Oh! running pretty damn good. Might be burning too rich. Let's see if we can get it going again. Like I said, never had this guy running before. Still got some more tinkering, but first time running, I don't know how many years. I have no idea. Got quite a bit of torque in it. Needs still some more fine tuning, but well, you've seen it run, sort of. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go kind of fine tune this thing a little bit more. I might actually put it on the ground so that way it doesn't bounce so badly. I still got, yeah, lots of gas in there. So, but there you guys see it. It actually, it's alive. This is the first time I've ever seen this thing run. So, and she's got compression, I'll tell you that. Either this engine, I don't know, never done much work or been very well taken care of. And from what I've seen, because there's still a lot of original paint on this thing. It just did a little bit of work, but probably a little bit of work and not too much oiling. That's usually the big thing back in the old days. Things never get oiled that much, so. But, see if I can shut the door. Get a better picture. I don't know if that, oh, that might get a little bit better a picture. But I ain't gonna leave it at the video for this. I might add another one running on, might get running a little bit better, but if anybody's interested, this is for sale. And as far as I'm concerned, this is actually a very good engine for someone to want to start with. The only thing, I do have a gas tank that goes with it. This is not the right oiler. I'll put an oiler on. And I may have a fender for it. But I'm only asking $500. I forget it's a bargain. These things were only made for no more than 5 years. I think I made a mistake in the beginning of the video. These things were made, I think, from, don't quote me, but from 11 to 18. And this would be a tail ender, because this one was in 1918, so this would be a tail ender, so. But, or if you have something to trade, you never know. Just leave it in the comments and we'll go from there, so. But, yeah, 500 bucks. I figure you can't go wrong. I remember seeing these things go for more than that back in the day, so. But far from I've seen this thing's actually in very good shape, so. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. And maybe put a couple shorts up on this video when I get it running better, so. Alright, Catch you on the next one.